Let's see 6 matches where I beat the top 20 players in the global ranking of Tennis Clash, a sports game published by Wildlife Studios. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel Gameplay 365 if you like this video. So you may have seen some of those matches previously on Gameplay 365, as this video is just putting my latest wins versus top 20 players on together. They are not brand new matches. I'm still leveling up my cards to be able to compete with the top 20 players on a more even playing field. I'm not far from level 12 for some good epic cards like the Hammer, the Forge, the Kwai Resistance Band, and I hope that once I have those cards at level 12 and then the Anvil at level 13, I will be able to publish much more often videos of victories against top 20 players on the channel. So I have used mostly the aggressive baseliner style with Viktoria to beat those top 20 players. That's normal. You don't see much Kaito in those matches because I have played so far less than 300 matches with Kaito since I began playing Tennis Clash. Why I have played a bit more than 5,000 matches with Viktoria. I'm practicing with Kaito tough so as to get much more used to play with him and the counter puncher style in order to have good defensive reflexes and to know better how to turn defensive shots into offensive ones and then to use him in tour 8 later on in rotation with Viktoria. So even if I plan to play with Viktoria later in tour 8, I still want to see how Kaito will play there because most of top 20 players use Kaito and it looks like it might be easier to compete with them using their own weapon, meaning Kaito. So let's talk about the 2 first matches now. I played them during my matches to unlock tour 8 against Halep, who is a regular top 10 player who was ranked at number 7 at the time I was recording this commentary and who has a very good win ratio against me. It's essentially to be able to compete with that kind of opponent that I'm leveling my cards. This is to avoid having a gap of 16 points in total power between me and him. So you can see that we were still playing with the Joker Quartz string at that time, and that was some weeks ago, shortly after the big update. He had a very strong forehand, which is lethal when it's hit by a character having great agility, especially versus a character having lower agility like Viktoria. But I didn't give up, as you know. I don't like those 2 words, give up, at all. So I kept trying to outflank him, among others with the combo that I like much. The cross-court drop shot follow up by a winner. I was using a build that had a strong forehand of 72, but fewer stamina. So that means I had to take risk attacking a lot so as to outflank him. That was the only way for me to beat him. Of course, I had to be accurate in the process. So sometimes I had to turn defensive shots into offensive ones, outflanking him again, and then to end the point with a forehand, a backhand winner, I had to hit hard and find the corners or as close to the sidelines as possible to outflank him. That's impossible otherwise to outflank because he had a lot of agility plus the Joker Quartz long catch. So I took a maximum of risk in almost all strokes during the 2 matches. So you can see that Halep was putting me in a difficult position a lot of times, thanks to his accuracy. This player is not a top 10 for nothing, for sure. He has a great accuracy in hitting, he returns very well on the serves, and he enjoys hitting cross-court shots as well, so as to diversify the shot's length, and that's exactly what I like to do. So our styles were kind of conflicting there. He committed some unforced error stuff. Obviously, as you know, nobody is perfect in this Tennis Clash games. Otherwise, it would be impossible to play if some players always hit powerful shots in the court and never out of bounds. And those rare unforced errors allow me to come back. But I still had to take a lot of risk. Yep, he committed some unforced errors like there. Overall, well, I was not unhappy to have stayed mentally strong enough to beat him twice during my last matches to unlock Tour 8. Especially because this second match was the one that allowed me to open Tour 8. As you have seen, that was very hard. And that was tricky, really, to be led all the times, to have match points versus me a lot of times, and then, well, that's good. This kind of match is giving a lot of self-confidence actually, because when you are able to stay in the match, to stay mentally strong enough not to crack under the pressure, well, it gives really a big boost of confidence. And that's always helpful to have some confidence to play well versus beast players in the global ranking, of course. And the harder the opposition, the sweeter is the cherry on the cake, of course. Obviously, I was leading, and he came back, and then he was leading, and I equalized. Until that moment, I can tell you that it was very funny, especially when I hit that combo at the end. I don't think he expected me to hit that combo on the match point at all, actually. Well, that was enough for me to unlock to 8. Yeah, as you can see, that was tricky in terms of stats there. My Victoria had the 72 agility, not a 75 like now. So that was not easy, I would say. Oh, right. So we are going to see again the moment that I unlock it, to 8. And then we will start the third match. The third match, which is very unbalanced in terms of total power. My opponent had 29 more points in total power than me. But I just tried to do my best, you know. Just do it. Just try. If I lose, never mind. I wouldn't have learned a lot against the best. So I was a bit lucky that my opponent chose the Toro Twine string. So he did that to obtain a critical tier 2 that would allow him to take advantage of his two strong hands. But this string didn't help him to do some long catches and didn't give him a stamina shield. Overall, I think I couldn't have stayed in the match thanks to the choker quartz that I was using. So I started the match badly, as you can see. Here it was a small moment of relief only to see that, well, he was agile enough to turn my combo into dust. And then he started to lead 3-1 and then 4-1 very quickly. Yep, very strong backhand. And then I started to hit soft shots, which I think annoy him a lot. When you are used to hit powerful strokes, it's not funny at all to return soft shots suddenly. And I just did that to annoy him, to disturb his hitting pattern. And then by the end of the match, things were kind of easier because I had more stamina thanks to the stamina shield and tier 1 of the choker quartz string. And well, I took profit of that extra of stamina to outflank him more easily and to hit drop shots where I knew he would have a very hard time reaching for the ball. Yeah, he had some. He tried to stay in the match, of course. And well, by the very end of the match, his low stamina made him commit a fatal unforced error. And then, well, bad things just accumulate. With a low stamina, you know, that's very hard to stay in the match by the end. So, as for the 3 last matches, I'm playing them versus Noam, who is regularly in the top 10 global ranking, and who is the world number 1 at the time I'm recording this commentary. So he's an excellent volley player, and he's having a good win ratio versus me. I hope to invert the percentage while leveling up my cards. I think it will be easier to pass his quick catch, his very good reflexes with 5 more points in backhand and 4 more points in forehand. I can't wait really to test the new 2 hands power to see if it's really easier to counter volley than as I think it will be. So I can imagine a fly robot, you know, the player who is ranked at the 3rd global ranking right now. I can imagine Fly Robot have a very good time whenever he plays versus Noam or the volley players, because Fly Robot is having an 83 agility, 80 forehand, and 73 backhand lineup. So if you want to take a look at a Victoria monster, you just go to the global ranking and watch the lineup of Fly Robot. It's a player who has a robot avatar, a kind of transformer in the avatar, and who is ranked number 3 at the moment. I was recording this commentary, and that is really a dream lineup for Viktoria. Have a look as well at his awesome win ratio, which is at 79.4% right now, just behind Rattan 10, but you know, Rattan 10 is a bit different because he's playing a lot in the lower tours, while Fly Robot doesn't do that, for what I know. So overall, I was applying very simply the recommendations that I give in videos showing how to counter volley players. I was hitting hard towards the 2 corners, like I just did, or down the line. Yeah, towards the corners. So I didn't try to hit cross-court shots much, almost none, because Noam had some decent serve in his build, and that made the cross-court shots more difficult to be hit and to be efficient. 64, yeah, that's more than decent. That's almost good. Obviously, well, I forced Noam to commit some errors, and his lob returns didn't work at all. He did try. They were very easy to hit for me. And by the end of all matches, you will see that his Diana was lacking stamina. So that was generally easier for me to hit winners, because he had much slower reflexes when he was rushing to the net to counter my hard strokes. And you can see as well that generally it's easier to outflank him, or any volley player actually, if you keep hitting several times towards the same corner. That's because, well, the volley player will start to run generally to the other side, anticipating most of the time a hit towards the opposite corner. That's generally most of players would do. And so if you do the contrary, you have a good chance to outflank him, to wrong foot him. So sometimes, well, Noah will commit weird double faults, like here, even 2 double faults in a row. That allow me to lead for good. But well, he has improved his serve skill since. Yeah, I did see that during our last matches where he was winning, and he's doing much better now while serving. Overall, Noam is an excellent volley player with very, very good reflexes. As you know, that's not because I show my victories against any player on the Gameplay 365 channel that I mean that this player is not playing well. No, not at all. It's not at all the mindset. And it's just a match, you know. I win match, I lose match, and that's it. It's the same thing for Noam. He wins a lot of matches, and he can lose matches sometimes, now and then. Fortunately, he's not God. So, well, Noam is an excellent volley player, as I said, but however, he was committing many unforced errors while volleying or while serving during the matches that I'm showing, like here, just here. The volley was a bit too long, so that gave me the gain of the two last matches more easily than I could hope for. And of course, sometimes he tends to try and catch all balls a bit by reflex. Even the ones who were clearly going out of bounds. And, well, you're going to see that at the very end of this match. Trying to catch all balls, well, will allow me to end the point easily behind, because when you try to catch a ball with a great extension, well, generally you won't have enough time to come back. Yep. He's doing that very good. Just drop that volley there. So even with his unforced errors, he was staying in the match. So that's not so easy. So this is the point that I was talking about. He should just have let the ball go out. Alright. And that's it for this series of 6 victories against top 20 players. You are going to see the lineup that I was using in the 3 matches versus Noam. 67 for both hands. Well, I hope you enjoy watching. Maybe have some victories versus top 20 players in Tennis Clash, a sports game published by White Life Studios. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel Gameplay 365 to stay tuned for new videos of Tennis Clash. Thank you a lot for your support, and see you soon on Gameplay 365. Bye-bye.